Hi there, good morning. Welcome to Sunnyside Journals. Welcome to 30 minutes of my day. I'm Catherine, by the way, if you're new here. I have a few things that I want to work on today. So, of course, this is my first 30 minutes. So whatever I get started on, that's what I share, and then I'll work for the rest of my day on the things that I have planned. So I hope you're doing well. I'm doing wonderfully. We have sunshine here today, and that always helps me when there's sunshine. So I guess first things first, I've got to work. I got started on some of these encyclopedias. I'm going to try to do a few at once. Hold on, let's see. Where are you? So I'm going to try to do a few at once and simply have fun with the covers like I've had here, and have fun with the end papers, and then fill it with, of course, a text block of, the various kinds of papers that I enjoy, and then just leave them mostly naked, except for try and make use of a few of the sweet little black and white photos and such that are inside. And then I'll send the rest of them. Not all of the rest of them. That would make the shipping ridiculous. But yeah, and of course put in the front page and all that. These are from 1955. So, and the paper is quite nice. They're not that old. These are a Funk and Wagnall. I'm not sure why they didn't. It doesn't say Funk and Wagnall. They've called it the Universal Standard, but it was made by Funk and Wagnall, and it has the plain ones have the famous Funk and Wagnall lamp on it. So some of them, I'm sure that will show through, and some, I don't mind covering that up. There's a little hint of it there, which I rather like. It shows that it really is the cover from Genuine Encyclopedia volume. So I love that. Now with this one, I have used some music from an old German music book I have, and then I added a beautiful flower from that massive book I have with those gorgeous flowers. So I fussy cut that sweet little baby out. And then this handsome fellow, I just love him. He's out of that 1888 Girlzone annual book that I have. And I've seen him, as I've leafed through it a few times, he's been sitting there looking at me. And I thought, all right, it's time for you to meet your destiny, Mr. 1888. My goodness. I love when you can see that somebody had a sense of humor, even back then, to think of, drawing this cute little owl, and he's holding that picture up. And then I find it interesting how it's correspondence, meaning the people who have written the letter, whereas I always assumed that it was correspondence, which means the actual letters. So that, and it's throughout the book. They've got other versions, so I may leaf through the book and find a few more of the illustrations for the answers to correspondence. You know what? Let me find it. Let's see if there's any others that are cute. If you get a chance, go over and take a look at Kelly's. She did a leaf through. She has an 1892 Girlzone book. And there really are some cheeky and even obnoxious responses to the correspondence. So when someone would write in, and they would give their reply. Like, here's one for answers to correspondence. It looks like it has a bulldog, a pit bull, and it says rough questioners. So I guess they had some inappropriate questions that week. Let's see if there's any more answers to correspondence here. Noah's Ark, no. Girlzone Inver. Oh, I don't want to waste too much time. It's pretty. I mean, it's sad, but it's pretty in its sadness. No, Noah's Ark, no. Answers to, come on, answers to correspondence. Oh, this one didn't have an illustration. Look at all those chickens. My daughter would go nuts over those. I have a daughter who loves chickeny things. Nope, that's not it. Oh well, maybe another time. Yeah, look, sometimes they didn't always put an illustration for the answers to correspondence. There's one. Oh, housekeeping. Anyhow, so that's where I found that handsome owl was out of this big book, which is just wonderful. So I'm really liking, and I'm liking how this turned out. I haven't sealed it yet, and I haven't fortified the old spine. I wrapped the music right around so that when I eventually put in, let's pretend that this is an end paper. When I eventually put in the new end papers, I like how that is wrapped right around. And same with up here, the music gets wrapped right around. So when I lay down the end papers there, the music will go underneath the end paper. I rather like that. And so I have been making some spines up. I have 2 in there this time. Boy, that was tricky. I'm not sure whether I want to do that again. I think maybe what I'll do is I'll just start making spines. I'll just do one as the last thing I do every day for overnight, and get these molding on my doweling. But I have got a whole bunch pre-cut, and I also wrote out one of them into a template because I I have 29 of these. So I'm going to be doing this over the course of, maybe in a year I'll decide, all right, let's do a few more. So what I did was I made up the size that I like for going in, not only in here, come on you, so see how that's the size. So I glue 2 together and then put them on here. But also this will actually become the new back for when I sew in the text blocks. So I'll need 1 for that. So I just went crazy. I wrote down the measurements for it. I also wrote down how many signatures I want to put in. I put in the tick marks for my signatures, and then I also put the tick marks for where I want for the running stitch through the signatures to sew them into the text block. So this really is an all-purpose template now for me. This certainly isn't enough. This is what's called a good start. But at least I know now that I don't have to keep measuring every single time, as long as I don't lose this. That's the key, that I don't lose it. And I just use, as ever, file folder card stock is quite suitable for this, depending on how heavy it is, whether you want to do 2 or 3 layers for to put in the back here. So, and I do think that I want to have sort of, for now, for this little lot, I'm going to be doing 5 of them. I thought I was going to do 4, but somehow or other I got done on, I was working on 5. I think I naturally grabbed for it because that's my favorite number. So, you know what, I'll do 5. And I think what I want to do is come up with some different similar collages. I've been looking for a reason to use a particular one. I've got my bin of DVD sleeves of Fussy Cuts. And there's a few in here that I've been wanting to use, but they're quite big. So they're not always suitable to go inside a journal, but they might be suitable to go outside a journal. Like this handsome fellow. I just love him. He's very handsome. And I also like this one who's got, sadly, but it's Circle of Life. He's got his supper in his beak there. So I'm thinking that I may use, let's see. Oh, he would fit. No, I think he goes that way, so he wouldn't fit. Maybe I can work with him. He can run off the page. Because the angle of the tail tells me that it actually doesn't go like that. He goes like this, so he's obviously on the ground. He swooped in and swooped in and got that little guy. I don't know. I'm going to think about it. And of course, I love this fellow. He looks a little dopey wise. They always look so wise, but he kind of looks a little, maybe he's a senior citizen wise. We'll see. That's what I'm thinking. So I'm not sure yet. I may go crazy and find some fun things that I've wanted to sort of collage onto the covers of a book. I have some big animal ones too. So I don't know. Like I have this handsome fellow. And a few others. There's a polar bear one. I love him as well. He's quite handsome. Oh my goodness. I'm sorry. I've got to watch what I'm doing. I'm talking and obviously I can't talk and chew gum at the same time. All right, so I'm going to put these away for now because that's not what I planned on doing today. I actually have a strange thing that I want to do for myself. And I thought, you know what, let's get started while the camera's running and you can see what I planned on doing. I have been, hold on, let me put these away. I have been craving using a bullet journal as my planner again. I had been using, and of course I cannot find it. How did this room get like this so quickly? I just cleaned it up. I had been using just a simple one of these kind of planners, and you know what? I'm craving a bullet journal again. So you know what? As I say, the heart wants what it wants. So I got myself a new bullet journal. Now I did something different this time. Well, let's move you out of the way, correspondence. I got a soft cover this time. I used to always get a hard cover. But then, of course, if you're the kind of person like me who glues things in, your hardcover, of course, does the alligator mouth thing. And I hate having to tear out pages out of a beautiful Leuchtturm. They're just yummy. So I came up with the idea that maybe if I put the text block from my Leuchtturm into a slightly bigger regular book that it fits into. I'm not going to take apart. I toyed with the idea of taking all the signatures out as well and re-sewing them into it, and I may still do that. But right now I'm thinking I'm just going to take this whole text block out and put it into this cover. This is a cute book. I bought it for the contents because it's not old. It actually is a reprint of an old book. The original book apparently was printed in the early 1900s, but this one is from 1984. So it's quite new, but the cover is lovely. And I love the title, Children in Gardens. And it's full of some, first of all, look at those end papers. How beautiful are those end papers? And it does have some really pretty black and white photographs. And it's got some Kate Greenaway illustrations in it. Look at these. Aren't they beautiful? Look at that. So it's a sweet little book. Boy, I would love to get my hands on an original one from the 1900s someday. It's just about how to encourage children to work in the garden with you. It's a neat book. Look at those two. Sweet hardheads. Anyhow, so I decided, since it's not an old book and I just want the contents for creating junk journals, that I would remove this text block and have some fun with this cover, and then hopefully try to somehow put my Leuchtturm, I think it's just going to fit. These pages might be really encroaching, but I don't put lace on the edges of my own journals. So I think I can pull it off. And I may just, you know what, I might, since this is new and sturdy, I may very well take this, cut open the signatures. That's the nice thing about a paperback Leuchtturm. The signatures are still sewn in. So I was a little worried that they might be glued in. I knew that the signatures were sewn in to a hardcover because quite often I would use my leftover pages from an older bullet journal of mine and tea dye them and put them into my junk journals that go off out into the world. That's why sometimes some of you, if you look through your junk journal, if you have one of my junk journals and there's bullet journal paper in it, those are from my my bullet journals. So, but like I said, they were hardcover, and I've never had a softcover one before. There we go. See, you can see the threads there. Let me hold it up. See? So I will be able to take this apart, and perhaps I will sew them. I might just sew them right through this this spine. So let's get started. I like this picture here on the front. I wonder if this was from a library, because it's unusual to have a book with this on it. I don't know though. That's kind of shiny, and I wish it was matte. Mind you, here's a little secret. You can paint matte Mod Podge over a glossy illustration, and it will tone it down. I might find a way to put that back onto the cover. We'll see. I'm not there yet. So first things first, I may lift this up because I have to put this book upright. So I'm going to pause you for a second. There we go. So what I need to do is, now I may stand up for this so that I know that I stay in frame. I've already given it a try. I'm going to try to save these end papers intact. But I don't know if I can. I'm wondering if I can buy... It's such a new book. Sorry, my mind is just all over the place. It's such a new book. It is really, really securely bound. It has not loosened up. It's tight in there. And I may use my knife that my son-in-law made me. Where is it? There we go. This is a handy little knife. I got it. I was inspired by Sophia at Save Your Books. She uses knives like these. She cuts them down. So I have a son-in-law who grinds knives. And so I bought some steak knives at my St. Vincent de Paul for 25 cents and said, can you play with these? I showed them pictures of Sophia's knives. And I said, can you play with these and see if you can make the blade stubbier and then round it like a fingertip? And he said, sure. Because he's nice like that. I don't know if I'm going to be able to. Let's first try and pull it as far away as I can. Okay, that's good. That came off. Now, let's see. See, sooner or later I'm going to get into the bands that hold the text block in, and that's where it's going to be a bit of a stinker, and that's where I think I need a sharp point. But I don't want to cut through. I don't want to cut through this beautiful, nice, sturdy spine. And it's really in there. I don't know if I'm going to be able to do this on camera. It's quite nerve-wracking. There we go. The second side is always a little easier. So what I'm doing is I'm going down that with just the tippy tip of this X-Acto blade. Trying not to go in very deep so that I don't go right through the shoulder of that spine. Come on. Let's try from the bottom up and see. Oh, there we go. There we go. Come on, let go. Oh, good. It's still in the... I hate that. Oh, my goodness. All right, let's get you out of the way. And let's see. Come on. Come on. Yes, I may have to turn off my camera. Hold on. Ta-da! You know what? I did it. And it was hard. And to my great good credit, there was no swearing, but it deserved swearing, but I didn't swear. And on Amazon came, so I'm happy. So I got it out. Boy, it was tough. This is one well-made book. But I got it out with the end papers still intact. Tiny little tear right here. Don't know if you can see that. But you know what? This is for me, and I'm okay with that tiny little tear. Now I have to tidy up these shoulders here and try and get some of this this gauze out. I don't need all of it in there anymore because I'm just going to glue it down when I put the Leuchtturm in here. And I may just leave all those be. And of course now I'm thinking about all the possibilities for this. Because part of me thinks, oh, I could just make it a refillable cover. Wouldn't that be nice? And then part of me thinks part of the joy of a new journal is a whole new journal. So I'm hesitating to make it refillable. But boy, oh boy, this is a well-made journal. Or book, pardon me. To try and get this gauze off without tearing these end papers because they're just so cute. Well, I think I'm going to get back to work on this. Actually, I'm going to head downstairs and put the kettle on and make some tea. And then I will come back up here and work on this a little bit more. I think I'm going to try to, there we go. That's good. I will just trim this off with scissors, I think. And then we'll never know what's inside here. This is all in good condition. I don't have to rip any of that out. I'll tidy it up a bit, but I don't have to rip any of that out. Just this buildup of glue here. Part of the text block was glued right to the back of the spine. So although it's hidden hollow back, it really had quite a bit of the text block glued right to, you can see right here, it was glued right to the back instead of to the shoulders. There we go. So I'm just taking whatever I can just peel out just to reduce the bulk for when I put mine in. Yeah, so anyhow, I'm going to go make some tea. I'm not sure. Perhaps I will turn my camera on again as I get a little further in this. And I'd like to try later today and get another cover ready to go so I can get a couple of these babies ready. All right, I'm going to go. Have a great rest of your Sunday. I hope that for many of you it can just be a day to relax and stay in and stay, you know, with whomever you love. Be that human or furry. I like both. I'm going to go get some tea. I need tea. I need some caffeine. Take care. We'll talk later. Bye.